Okay, let's get right into it. We've all heard the name Beethoven, right? And you definitely know his music, even if you don't realize it. But this isn't just about famous tunes. Today, we're going to look at how a young musician didn't just write music, he completely shattered the rules and changed the game forever. This is the story of how Beethoven became a rebel. Seriously, think about it. How does someone become a legend? Is it just raw talent, or is it all about hard work? Or maybe just being in the right place at the right time? Well, for Ludwig van Beethoven, it was all of that, plus this fiery, unstoppable spirit that just refused to play by the rules. His journey was anything but easy, but that's what made him an icon. So every story's got a beginning, and Beethoven's kicks off in the city of Bonn, Germany. And I gotta tell you, it was no fairy tale. He was born with this incredible, once-in-a-generation talent, but he was also under this crushing pressure to be the next Mozart. Yeah, his childhood was basically a pressure cooker. Born in 1770, his dad, also a musician, was super strict. We're talking hours and hours of forced practice every single day. But even with a childhood that tough, you just couldn't contain his genius. I mean, by the time he was 13, he was already a professional, working as an assistant organist. It was obvious he was meant for something huge, and that meant one thing: moving to the music capital of the world, Vienna. Now, showing up in Vienna wasn't just like moving to a new city. It was like an aspiring actor moving to Hollywood today. It was the place to be, jam-packed with talent, insane competition, and, if you were good enough, opportunity. And Beethoven? He didn't just want to be part of the scene. He wanted to take it over. So, before Beethoven rolled into town, the music you'd hear in the fancy palaces of Vienna was, well, it was polite. Elegant, very orderly, followed all the rules. And then, in comes this guy. His playing wasn't polite. It was powerful. It was emotional. It was packed with surprises. Honestly, it was like a rock star crashing a quiet tea party. A total shock to the system. And you want to know a secret weapon? The guy could improvise. He could sit down at a piano with zero sheet music and just invent these breathtakingly complex pieces right there in the moment. This was his superpower, and it made him an absolute star in the wealthy homes of Vienna. Okay, so being an amazing performer is one thing, but to become a true legend, you've got to create something that outlasts you. So Beethoven started building on his fame by publishing his first big compositions. And he didn't exactly start small. His very first official published work, known as Opus 1, was a set of 3 piano trios. So what's that? It's just music written for a team of 3 instruments: a piano, a violin, and a cello. And these pieces were so bold and full of energy, they were like a massive announcement to the world that a powerful new composer had just arrived. But, it's when he wrote for the piano all by itself that we really get a window into his soul. The piano sonata became his musical diary. It was the place where he could really experiment, smash boundaries, and pour out his deepest emotions. So, a sonata, what is it? Basically, it's a story told by one instrument. But nobody, and I mean nobody, told a story on the piano like Beethoven. He took this classic musical form and just supercharged it with drama and intensity. And here it is, the perfect example, his pathetic sonata. This piece was an absolute game changer. It had these wild, sudden mood swings, going from a dead quiet whisper to a massive roar in a split second. He used every single key on the piano, from the lowest rumbles to the highest sparkling notes, creating this feeling of incredible sadness and power. People had literally never heard anything like it. So Beethoven had conquered the private palaces of the rich and famous. But his ambition was way bigger than that. He believed his music wasn't just for a handful of wealthy people. It was for everybody. And if you want to reach everyone, you need a much bigger canvas. For him, that canvas was the symphony. Now, a symphony isn't just a song. It's a gigantic musical story told by a whole army of instruments: strings, winds, brass, percussion, the whole shebang. It's pretty much the ultimate challenge for a composer. In the year 1800, he debuted his very first symphony. And true to form, it was not what people were expecting. It was just bursting with this raw energy, and he used the wind instruments in a way that was totally new and different. Some critics were a little shocked, but the public, they absolutely loved it. He had proved he could handle a full orchestra. And this is how he became a superstar. Instead of just working for some rich prince, Beethoven basically became his own boss. He put on his own concerts for the public, with himself as the main event. He turned into a real celebrity, famous for his wild hair and for playing with so much passion that he would literally break the piano strings. He was one of the very first independent artists. You see, this wasn't just about making cool music for him. Beethoven was living in a time of revolution, during a period called the Enlightenment, when all these new ideas about freedom and the power of the individual were changing the world. And he believed music should be part of that. It should be heroic, it should be powerful, and it should speak to the potential inside every single one of us. But right when he was at the very peak of his powers, something truly terrible began to happen. He was about to face a challenge that would have crushed almost any other musician on the planet. 28. That's how old he was when it started. Just 28 years old, with his career exploding, Beethoven started to lose the one thing a musician cannot live without: his hearing. It started as a faint ringing noise, this constant buzz in his ears that just wouldn't leave him alone. Can you even imagine the terror? The one tool you rely on for your art, your connection to the entire world of sound, was slowly being stolen from you. For a while, he even tried to hide it because he was ashamed and terrified. But Beethoven did not quit. He flat out refused to be beaten by silence. Instead of hearing the music with his ears, he trained himself to hear it perfectly, and in its entirety, inside his own mind. This unbelievable challenge forced him to compose using only his memory and his imagination. And what happened next is kind of a miracle. His music didn't get weaker. It got even deeper, more emotional, more powerful than ever before. He proved that the most incredible art doesn't come from what you can perceive on the outside. The most powerful music comes from the depths of the human spirit. Beethoven's story really shows us that greatness isn't about following the path someone else made. It's about blazing your own. He broke the rules of music, he broke the rules of business, and he even fought back against his own body to give his art to the world. So that kind of leaves us with a question, right? What rule would you be willing to break to create something truly great?